It's the Texan in Tokyo show. Bing!
Recently, I was on Japanese Ninja Warrior, which is also known as Sasuke. Japanese Ninja Warrior, for those of you who don't know, is a 4-stage obstacle course. I remember watching it when I was a kid with my cousin whenever we'd go to my grandma's house. She got all those obscure channels, and so Japanese Ninja Warrior would play, and they'd have really bad English voiceovers, and my cousin and I would just sit on the couch and eat popcorn and watch it for luck. When I came across the application earlier this year, I was like, I gotta apply. I was on the 32nd season, and every year they have 100 contestants. Usually 10 are women and 90 are men. A mix of Japanese celebrities, the Sasuke All-Stars, and so they're automatically invited back every year. And then international competitors, so people who are champions for American Ninja Warrior, or we had some people from Europe or Taiwan, and then the remaining filler spots are regular contestants, which was me. My husband, Ryosuke, and I both turned in our applications earlier this year, and we both got called back to the auditions. So the audition process is they bring a bunch of you into a room, and then you have to give a 30-second introduction of yourself, and then everybody has to do 100 push-ups to the beat of the drum. Ryosuke, of course, was able to do the 100 push-ups easily because the man is built beautifully and he's very good at push-ups. I can do 30 of them, but the main point was just to not give up. So I did 30 and then I did another 70 really pathetic looking push-ups. They cut 80% there, and then they call you back in for a 2-minute rapid fire Q&A. One of the things that struck me as the most odd during the audition, aside from the fact that it lasted 12 hours, oh my goodness, was that there wasn't actually a skill test during there. There was the 100 push-ups, but other than that, they didn't have us run any of the obstacles. It was very obvious that they were just getting people for the filler spots, that they didn't actually expect you to do well on the tournament whatsoever. Which of course I took as a personal challenge. And in the end they picked me, probably because I was the only, that I noticed I was the only foreign female. I was definitely the only white female at the auditions. So it was a bit of an anomaly. And I'm married to a Japanese dude and I have a Japanese last name, so I think they thought I would be good for TV. During the auditions, I met a bunch of other people, and so we got together twice in between the auditions and the actual competition to train. Because I learned there are several people in Japan that have built entire courses in their backyard with the warped wall. Yeah. You are so cool.
Oh.
Okay. See, easy.
Still that half a second of what am I doing? Right before I grab the bar.
Yeah.
そしてさらに進んでいくその関節は何でしょうか。そしてここに行っちゃうんでしょうか。
We're leaning forward.
I was leaning forward on that one.
But you grabbed it.
Yeah.
So that's what counts.
I can give up halfway through.
絶対ちょっと超えんだよな、こ
And
れ。
your legs are getting.
すでにもうこの3本の中に差し掛かっております。
I was contestant number 58, as you can see here, maybe. The day of, I had to get there early in the morning and then pass 2 rounds of fingernail inspections. Even though I'd cut my nails really short, they kept making me cut them shorter and shorter until I was like, they don't go any shorter than this. I'm sorry, dude. And up until that point, the course is a complete mystery because they change it every year. Around 10 a.m., 11 a.m., the whole day is kind of a blur. They brought us to where the course was and did a single run through. So they had someone who helped build the course who went through each obstacle once to show how they recommended completing that course. And then they also made rules like, okay, you cannot do this, you cannot do that, you cannot touch this thing. All of it was in Japanese, so I ended up doing some of the translating for some of the foreign competitors because they didn't provide translators to everybody. And then the competition started. I was in the 50s, so I didn't run until, I think my run was at 3:30. I was given guest passes, so of course my husband got to come watch me run, and then his parents came and a bunch of our friends came to cheer me on. My husband was allowed up on stage with me right before my run, and he gave me a kiss for good luck. And when he kissed me, the crowd director tried to shield the children of our PDA. And Ryosuke's parents kind of embarrassingly laughed and told us later that there was this wave of gasps and people trying to hide their children's eyes. Which I know that I'm supposed to feel bad about, but I still just think is hilarious. The first obstacle were these steps that you jumped from side to side, and then you were supposed to jump onto these rolling logs, and that's where a lot of people went down. And I don't remember a lot of this because it was still the adrenaline going. The next obstacle was called the TIE Fighter, and somehow they got the permission to actually use that. And you kind of had to grip it while it went down these series of little steps. I almost went down on this one, but I didn't. And then actually one of my friends during the dismount broke his foot on the landing. So it was a little bit more dangerous than I thought it was gonna be. The next one was the music box, which they have every year, usually. And this is the one that I fell on. I messed up with the landing because you can't really see the landing, so you kind of just have to jump for it. And I jumped and I got one foot on and then just went down in the water. Yeah. After I fell, they interviewed me for a bit and then sent me off in a van to the showers because that water was so gross. Oh my gosh, it smelled so bad. I got to shower, come back, watch a couple of my friends' runs, and then went out to eat with all the people that I loved who came to cheer me on. I was given the broadcasting date and I was told, like, encourage your friends and family to watch it. And we were not told ahead of time whether your run would be broadcasted or not, and that's their policy. And then in the end, my run was completely cut. What was more disappointing than the fact that my run was cut, because I understand that, they ended up only showing one woman's run, a female from a girl group who fell like that. It was between the first and the second obstacle. And that was just disappointing. Because here's the thing, one of the other female competitors, she timed out on the last obstacle. She did amazing. And then one of the friends that I'd made was this 8th grade gymnast, and she made it even farther than me. She made it farther than most of the guys, and she's an 8th grader, and they cut her run. And it just really, that's the one run you're gonna show. And I saw on Twitter after, there were a lot of people who were upset by the way that it was edited and were upset by how many female competitors were cut this year, i.e. they only showed one. That was my experience being on Japanese Ninja Warrior. If you get a chance, I do recommend trying it out. The applications are in Japanese, but as far as I know, any nationality can apply, and you don't have to live in Japan to apply. You can apply internationally and just come in on a tourist visa and compete. If you have any more questions about Japanese Ninja Warrior, I might be able to answer that, so please just ask in the questions or the comment section below. As always, thanks for watching. Bye!